Hello everyone, welcome back to Blackjack. I'm Blackjack Aviani, and again we're dealing with the same overlay from my streams, because I do not want to be arsed to move it all around. I got finally in another room. I got my microphone over here. I got a lighting source that makes itself look washed out rather than me, I hope. And I have got no idea about who these two characters are. I watched the summations, and in fact, I'm even doing this a bit late because I have never heard of these. I've heard of them, and I know nothing about them. I'm doing it a day late because of that, because I want to be able to focus on these characters and really study them in the analysis and all that. And I was not about to be able to do that yesterday. I was very tired. So anyway, let us
no matter where you go or what you do, whether you're getting pumped up, winding,
And then listening to my favorite
Shinobi from Naruto.
Sosuke Aizen, the Soul Reaper who stood apart.
Go to buyraycon.com/
Let's get the intro.
Madara Uchiha, the legendary messianic shinobi from Naruto.
Sosuke Aizen, the Soul Reaper who stood upon the heavens from Bleach.
We may dream of glory, but these two have the will to power to take it by force and claim a seat among the gods.
Neat.
They're the biggest, baddest anime bosses around, and not even death can stop them. Ghost versus zombie. Let's go. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
Nice.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
You know, I just
And-
gotta say, when it comes to the inevitable Wiz versus Boomstick battle, which they have promised us, it had better just be a simulation. I do not want those two to actually kill each other.
Destruction, countless dead, a plot to conquer the planet. The ninja world was at war.
For the fourth time, only one man could
Oh,
save
probably more than
humanity
that.
from itself, from beyond the grave.
The same man who orchestrated this war in the first place in order to end all wars forever. Madara Uchiha.
From birth, war was the only thing the young Madara knew, and there was no ninja he liked fighting more than Hashirama Senju. They're basically ninja Romeo and Juliet.
Belonging to
Cool.
opposing clans, Madara and Hashirama were forced to battle each other for years, all the
I
while
beat
dreaming
chess.
of a better future.
Their bromance eventually overcame their clan's differences, and the two groups merged, creating the village of Konoha.
But Madara
Awesome,
wasn't
awesome.
satisfied with Hashirama's dream of peace through cooperation. He desired an immortal peace through total domination.
Everyone
Well,
else
whatever
thought that was
works.
crazy, so he bounced, and then he came back to wage war against the village he helped build. Well, that didn't last long, huh?
Yeah.
Madara's megalomania
Yeah.
was perhaps faded, considering he is in fact the reincarnation of the demigod Indra Otsutsuki and the
Oh, of course
inheritor
he
of
is,
his
right?
immensely powerful chakra.
Basically physical and spiritual energy that makes ninja magic. Madara specializes in
Alright.
fire and wood style jutsus, which just seems irresponsible to put those together, like a gender reveal party waiting to happen.
His wood is especially impressive, considering it's the only style of elemental jutsu that can create life.
Interesting.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Madara can even use his Gunbai to absorb ninjutsu and return it right back to sender. You know you're a badass when you can take on armies with just a friggin' fan.
Madara has torn apart hordes of ninja without breaking a sweat, taken a beating from every tailed beast at once,
Oh,
and even
wow.
defeated the 5 Kage, some of the strongest shinobi in the world.
The Raikages even stated to be fast enough to move at light speed. And even weaker ninja like Orochimaru have dodged literal photon beams.
But Madara's greatest tool is the one born from his very bloodline, the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. These magical eyes
if
massively
that
enhance his
hurts
perception
having your
down to the
eyeballs
cellular
flexing
level,
around like
allowing
that.
him to predict movements, see the flow of chakra, and summon the mighty perfect Susanoo.
The Sharingan can also cast a genjutsu that'll trap anyone that looks at it in an illusion, and even break them out of those same illusions.
In Sasuke's case, even one's as strong as Itachi Tsukuyomi, which can
Okay, now, the previous time they used a Naruto character that was using illusions, the physical body of the opponent was still on the outside, and still managed to win because he had built up momentum into a punch. That was honestly pretty funny. Like, yeah, I mean, you can trap the mind, but you still have to stop the physical form. Maybe don't get a med punch next time. Maybe think about dodging first.
And warp your perception of time. Itachi used it on a fellow Uchiha and made her live out her entire life in the span of 1/100th of 1/1000th of 1/1,000,000th of a second.
And when she died in the illusion, she died for real. If Sasuke could break out of it.
Does the human brain even process thought that fast? Because I don't think it freaking does.
Madara could too, easily.
And after grafting some of Hashirama's cells onto himself, he
Would always have a piece of his Romeo inside him. This is my ship, Wiz. Stop looking at me like that.
He not only gained a healing factor strong enough to regenerate from having half his body vaporized, but also the terrifying Rinnegan.
AKA the big chungus of all eye magic. The ringy eyes let Madara absorb chakra and ninjutsu, create invisible limbo clones, see and remove your soul from your body, and summon giant-ass meteors, as if he needed any more fucking powers.
Yeah.
While the Rinnegan lacks some of the Sharingan's unique...
Well, Madara has not shown all the 6 pass ability granted by the Rinnegan. They have been used by Nagato, who has, therefore he should be capable of the same. Okay.
abilities, he can switch between them at will.
After tearing the ninja world a new asshole, Madara was finally defeated in a
Okay, given these fancy skills uncommon for dojutsu techniques,
battle for the
identical shapes and sizes, Madara likely creates meteors with chakra instead of pulling them from outer space. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, like, the time to get there.
By his BFF, and thus the life of a legendary shinobi came to an end in the arms of his one true love. Or did it?
Alright, this is gonna get pretty crazy, but just bear with me. Fearing a defeat in battle, Madara set a time-delayed jutsu that would posthumously rewrite reality and bring him back to life. And it worked! So Madara tricked another Uchiha, Obito, into witnessing his best friend murdering his other best friend. Then he tasked Obito with manipulating the world into another war. Meanwhile, he gave his own Rinnegan to Nagato with the goal of getting it back after he was brought back to life the second time with the outer path because he died again. Make sense?
Nah, that'll never work.
You're right, it didn't! So Obito went out and got the Rinnegan back from Nagato's corpse, because he died. Then Kabuto brought Madara back to life, and he got his eyes back from Obito after some backstabbing. Then he sealed the awakened Ten Tails within himself in order to gain ultimate power and create the world's greatest nap time ever!
Look what you people have done to him. You'd think Ten Tails' power would be awesome, but those stinky 8 balls of doom are so lame.
Don't let their size fool you. These truth-seeking orbs are in another league. The Ten Tails is strong enough to wipe continents off the map, and the orbs can be shaped into weapons that will completely disintegrate anything they come into contact with.
Shit.
Not even ninja resurrected through Edo Tensei like Minato could regenerate limbs lost to the truth-seeking orbs, which means they had to erase his literal spirit itself.
Madara's power was so
like
insane.
Adventure Time. Finn had that thing that would supposedly regenerate, but it just grew a flower on his arm instead.
He was considered comparable to the original Sage of Six Paths, the dude who helped create the friggin' moon.
And when Madara created meteors, they were large enough to show up against the curvature of the Earth. Measuring their size and estimating the height at which Madara lifted them, they'd have to possess a potential energy of at least 372 petatons of TNT.
He was even fast enough to keep up with 8 Gates Guy, who kicked hard enough to bend space. Madara even has an attack where he hawks light speed loogies.
Considering even base Madara has displayed speeds on par with Light Timing Ninja, we know Ten Tails Madara would have to be significantly faster thanks to the Ten Tails' power.
With virtually no one left to oppose him, Madara's plot was finally in the endgame. He awakened the Rin Sharingan, and with the God Tree summoned, he cast the infinite Tsukuyomi, spreading the tree's roots across the entire planet and capturing every single person in the world. This would enslave all of humanity in an endless dream world, free of conflict forever. Peace through total domination.
Manipulating this tree with his chakra would have...
Poison Ivy, if Poison Ivy ran the universe, my goodness. Okay, so Colossal Death Tree can also... does the tree itself cast illusions, or is that still him?
Involved physically spreading its roots through and around the entire Earth in mere moments. Estimating the tree's mass and the speed at which the roots were moved, his chakra must have released an energy exceeding 1 yotaton of TNT.
And this was with just one jutsu.
Okay, and the lightning speed of the god tree's roots is consistent with them blitzing ninja like Kakashi in Kurama Chakra mode Naruto, who can react to lightning. Okay.
Is there a character that could possibly even touch Madara Uchiha?
Kishimoto himself didn't even know. Madara's power was so overwhelming, the only thing that could take him down was treachery.
Even the man with the magic eyes couldn't see that coming.
All that was left was his old friend Hashirama, there to comfort him in his final moments.
Just like Romeo and Juliet, or never was there a story of more woe than this of Hashirama and his Mata bro. I read it in iambic pentameter.
Is there a gas leak in here?
Now the real fun begins.
Never gonna
The
get into
Soul
Bleach,
Society.
which... Okay, I did watch a little bit of Bleach. I watched maybe 5 episodes, and I had no idea what the fuck was happening, and I'm pretty sure I watched it from the beginning. Bleach is an incredibly confusing show. There is a lot to remember.
Chaos. One of its leading Shinigami was set to be executed under suspicious circumstances. A band of humans from the living world had invaded to save her, and Sosuke Aizen, captain of the 5th Division of the Gotei 13, was dead. Murdered.
What dastardly mastermind could have been behind all this? He'd have to be a galaxy-brained 5D chess master.
The man responsible was, in fact, Sosuke Aizen.
Little is known about the man's past, only
hundreds
that
of
he
years old.
isn't a man, a human
Used
man,
to teach
but a soul reaper.
calligraphy. Well, I know a certain YouTuber that would really like that. Go watch Tulak the Barbarian. Calligraphy is the god skill, according to him. I wonder, who is fulfilling the glasses prescriptions of these characters?
These Shinigami are spiritual beings who ferry lost souls to the afterlife and purify those who have turned evil in the living world.
They're badass anime wizard Grim Reaper swordsmen. Though Aizen himself was hardly that cool. I mean, just look at those glasses. Dork.
But this Clark Kent was harboring
I
a
like
secret.
those glasses.
Aizen had spent years attempting to develop the means to ultimate power,
But then, I mean,
ruining the lives of many of his colleagues via his twisted experiments.
Oh, so when Aizen does it, he's a supervillain. But when you do it to me, it's shut the hell up, Boomstick. You're under NDA, and I know about the stuff you've done.
As a Shinigami, Aizen's body is made of Reishi, being spirit matter, and empowered by Raryoku, being spirit energy. Entities made of Reishi are completely invisible to anyone without specific supernatural awareness, though a Shinigami's body is still tangible and can be damaged normally.
And with his Raryoku energy, Aizen can create incredibly powerful blasts. He's so strong, weaker beings will literally disintegrate if they get too close to him.
This
So the
is due to
briefcase
his
was not a weaker
Reiatsu,
being.
a localized spiritual pressure exerted as a result
But
of
the
his
man's outfit
enormous
apparently
power.
was.
He also knows tons of Keto, or spells. He can create force fields, bend the light around him to make him impossible
Oh, yeah,
to
pausing
detect,
here
fire
isn't gonna be able to
concentrated
help.
bolts of lightning, and
Complete
absorb the
hypnosis.
energy from his surroundings to make giant-ass energy dragons.
Perhaps his deadliest Keto is Kurohitsugi. After an extensive incantation, Aizen surrounds his target in an enormous black coffin that distorts space and time and tears its victims apart.
Interesting.
Aizen's plotting finally came to fruition
But are
during
they
the
aware of
invasion of the Soul Society, where he faked his death using his greatest weapon, his Zanpakuto, Kyoka Suigetsu.
A Shinigami Zanpakuto is a magical sword that possesses a sentient spirit. Kyoka Suigetsu gives Aizen complete control over his victim's senses the instant they lay eyes on the sword. This complete hypnosis traps its victims in a nearly perfect illusion that Aizen can manipulate at will, making himself virtually immune to attacks while his opponents are sitting ducks.
So it's gonna come down to who can do this to the other one without falling into it themselves. So, are the special ninja eyes gonna be enough to override this, or is it just I guess it wouldn't be immortalized because it works on other Shinigami.
So strong that it kept a group of ex-Soul Reapers known as the Visor trapped for over 100 years without them even knowing it. It's one of the most broken powers ever and the definition of anime bullshit.
Yeah.
But it was all worth it when he perfected his ultimate creation, the Hogyoku, an immensely powerful reality-warping device.
Although the Hogyoku itself has no explicit limits, the amount of power it grants to the person is dictated by the wielder's will. The moment their will falters, the Hogyoku will reject the wielder. That's going to be crucial. Can his will falter, even for a fraction of a second?
Quote, materializes the user's wishes.
In Aizen's case, it realized his desire to become the strongest being in the universe. With it, he can heal any of his wounds, even when half his body is vaporized. And more importantly, it exponentially increases his power over time through evolution by turning him into a horrifying butterfly monster man.
A being eventually strong enough to dethrone and replace the Soul King, the deity that controls the cosmic balance. Even a minor disruption to the Soul King's influence led to the three worlds of Earth, the Soul Society, and Hueco Mundo to start physically collapsing.
Isn't there an even stronger being known as Yawak or something like that? Who's like supposed to be like the ultimate character in all of Bleach? And
It implied that the soul...
the only souls we see in the living world are those from Earth. Since Soul Society and Hueco Mundo are meant to be home to the souls of the dead, it's safe to assume they're the same size as Earth. Wouldn't they, by rights, have to be a little larger? Like, unless they're just more densely populated.
has to be outputting enough energy to hold all these places together at all times.
Considering each should be roughly the same size, this would require an energy of over 140 zetatons of TNT.
Aizen is...
Okay, hang on. Okay, this is at... Okay, I'm at 1220. Okay. I'm going to look this up. Zetatons. Sextillion tons of TNT, yes. And Yotatons. Septillion tons. Okay, so a Yotaton is larger than a... Okay. But that's still quite, incredibly...
powerful enough to vaporize mountains as a side effect of a sword swing. His casual energy blasts can disintegrate huge chunks of the earth, and he can take on armies with just his Ryatsu alone.
He even defeated the rest of the Gote 13 without so much as breaking a sweat.
So he should be way stronger than Soul Society heavy hitters like Kenpachi, who sliced this 120...
Okay, we're dealing with more meteors again, because of course we're dealing with more meteors again. Meteoroids, or the asteroid size was calculated by comparing it to the... It's covered up.
White asteroid.
Something, a barrier that covers all of Seraite, which had some 30% of its size stated to be 20 li, or 200 li, or 100 kilometers, thus making its total size 330 kilometers.
To pieces.
That's roughly the width of Great Britain. An asteroid of this size would have to carry a kinetic energy of at least 44 petatons of TNT.
And Aizen was so badass, he literally transcended other Shinigami in power. He was in a whole other dimension from the rest of them.
Until he fought Ichigo Kurosaki.
The battle we've all been waiting for. Way before this in the Soul Society arc, Ichigo was already as fast as lightning. And by this point, after all his power boosts, he'd even be faster than light. Hell,
No ad. And now I can't even downvote this. Shut up. Nobody wants to hear about the freaking People's Choice Awards, okay?
Live from E at the People's Choice Awards.
Shut up.
Tonight at 7.
And I've even got... Oh my god, no.
Simple.
Shut up.
He just got a champion in Raid Shadow Legends.
Even weaker characters like this lady can dodge light beams.
Though their fight was epic, Ichigo had transcended the Shinigami as well. And even Aizen himself,
he did.
feeding upon his insecurities, the Hogoku abandoned Aizen, who was quickly defeated and imprisoned within the bottommost level of the Soul Society's prison. Aizen was left alone. His great power he sacrificed so much to achieve was gone forever.
Interesting.
Or was it?
Yeah.
Somehow he ended up getting even stronger than before.
Yeah.
What made him so strong? Could it be the chair?
It's not the chair. It could theoretically be due to the chair's restraints keeping his Reiatsu from properly releasing, building it up within him until he was stronger in base than he was at his previous max.
Nah, it's definitely the chair. And, since the chair could still hold him after he got stronger, wouldn't that make it even stronger than him? Even stronger than the Soul King? All hail the mighty Chair-sama, most powerful being in all of Bleach. He even managed to hold his own against the Quincy War.
I gotta send that clip to Komori-Con because we have all these jokes about Con Chair. I mean, I'm sure most other conventions probably do too, but there was a part where one of our closing ceremonies got started a little late and there was just a chair on stage. So everyone started going, chair, 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 chair. And yeah, so there's been this running joke that our actual con chair is just this chair. Maybe it's one of those things you have to be there for. Okay. Oh, match Soul King Yo. Okay, so that is who that was. Did not look like him in that picture. I mean, he looked like an old man in the picture they showed before. Okay, defeated the Gotei 13, the Visored, Urahara, and Ichigo. Caught Ichigo's Bankai with his finger. Endured incineration. Moves. FTE? What's FTE? Faster than what?
Warlord Yua, who absorbed the power of the Soul King himself. He even used Kyoka Suigetsu to trick him. And Yuha's a dude who can literally see every possible future all at the same time. All according to Keikaku, bitches.
And after standing among the gods themselves, Aizen returned to captivity and pondered the meaning of his existence.
Even trapped in a prison, sealed off in a different dimension with a 20,000-year sentence, he remains the most dangerous being in the world.
Who knows what schemes are brewing behind those cold, calculating
is he still
eyes?
in there?
No compassion, no empathy, only the drive for power.
No one has ever stood at the top. Neither you nor me. From now on, I alone will stand at the top.
Well, I guess he doesn't need them anymore.
All right, the combatants are set.
Did he ever, or were they just for decoration? Like I said,
But first, if you want the confidence of an anime supervillain, check out Blue Chew.
Well, that would depend entirely
This
on which
episode
anime
is brought to you
supervillain.
by Blue Chew.
Okay, it's really gonna depend, because neither one of them seem to have immunity to these themselves. Madara is gonna be able to destroy... well, no, wait. I think they could both destroy the, if someone tries to summon meteors, because you know they're gonna. And they might both. But I think they can both destroy the other's meteors. Aizen seems just a skosh more vulnerable. Because of that thing where his will wavered and that power abandoned him. So, but then he just kind of kept going after that, didn't he? And apparently, the way they phrase it makes it sound like he's still out there somewhere. I mean, it might take another 20,000 years for him to enact his plan, but by gum, it sounds like he's going to try to do it. Whereas Madara got himself killed a couple times. But they've both been defeated. And the question is, who can burst through the other's mental defenses. And it sounds like Aizen is a little more vulnerable in that regard. Unless, because it sounded like when Madara was putting them in all of these illusions and stuff, it sounds like they were living their absolute best lives. And that they only died from it because in their dream lives, it sounded like, because the one that they gave the description of died of old age, it sounds like. And Aizen doesn't seem to have that weakness. I mean, he looks like he's maybe 25, and he's thousands of years old. So, and he's expected to serve a 20,000-year sentence. And in that series, it doesn't sound like that's just, you know, puffed up for display like it would be in our world. So, it's entirely possible. I don't know. I'm wondering if something like that would just enable him to keep building up power, even if he was caught in this dream. But then how would he be able to break out of it is the question. I guess if he can go, if they can both go through, like, worlds. I don't know. Because I don't really know much about either series, I don't know what the restraints are. You know what I mean? I don't really know, how strong is the ultimate anime bullshit? How strong is the ultimate anime bullshit? That is the question that on all our minds. And I was really hoping that my silence and my concentration and my looking up Yodatons versus Petatons, I was hoping that would yield something, but no, I can offer absolutely no solutions right now. And, I've been recording for almost half an hour to cover 16 and a half minutes of footage, and I still don't know. So I'm just gonna, because it comes down to that question that I cannot answer.
You can see me.
I can see everything.
He's done another voice for Death Battle. He did his glasses.
Did you
he
see
doesn't need
that?
Fight! They're starting slow. Just physical damage.
Drown in despair!
Oh yeah, that ain't gonna do shit. He can regenerate.
Nothing more from a human.
Ultimate skeleton attack.
Parlor tricks.
Don't get so full of yourself.
Okay, those freaky demons on the platform. The track keeps getting longer.
Hado 90, Kuro Hitsugi.
Okay, it's there. But they just take a shit ton of damage. And that's not gonna do much. Yeah. Yeah. Got more of those going on. I feel like playing a third rat. Anyone want to join me? Ooh, bigger than wonder if that wasn't an illusion tackle.
Hado 99! Goryu Tenmetsu!
Okay. Yep, there's those balls again. Dragons everywhere.
I love it. The thrill of battle, the pounding of my heart, the taste of my own blood. I love it!
He did seem to be bleeding over there.
You almost had me there, you tricky bastard.
Oh, that.
Escapes my illusions, human.
Oh, yeah?
Know your place.
But is it really over? It's gonna have more fake outs than Reverse Flash versus Goku Black. It's a long pause, so that must be it then. Nobody did get
Of course Madara won.
That, huh?
He fake died twice for his 5D chess plan, while Aizen only fake died once.
Aizen and Madara were extremely evenly matched in raw power and speed. By our calculations, Madara spreading the God Tree's roots with his chakra was about 7 times more powerful than the best that Aizen could scale to with his rare Yoku, and both ended up being roughly as fast as each other.
While there are a range of possible feats and numbers to go with to determine their limits, the point is they're always going to be close to even.
Which means the main thing that mattered here were their powers and how they countered each other. Madara's enormous variety of abilities eventually overwhelmed Aizen.
While Soul Reapers like Aizen may be invisible to regular people, the Rinnegan allowed Madara to see invisible spiritual beings.
Truth-striking blows were state to prevent Edo Tensei from regenerating because they nullified the jutsu, and given the simulators between chakra and blah 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 blah. Oh my freaking god, would this make sense if I actually read the series?
Like his own limbo clones. Hell, the Rinnegan lets you see and remove human souls, and that's exactly what a Soul Reaper is.
Both chakra and rare Yoku utilized spirit energy and operated in similar ways, being formed into attacks like ninjutsu and kido. That meant that Madara's ability to absorb ninjutsu allowed him to nullify the vast majority of Aizen's range attacks, and even dispel his force fields.
And despite how OP Aizen's complete hypnosis was, Sharingan users can break out of illusions no sweat, even ones as powerful as Itachi's Tsukuyomi. And since Madara can switch between the Rinnegan and the Sharingan at will, he'd be able to break out of an illusion anytime he wanted.
Aizen's illusions are nearly perfect, but fellow Captain Unohana was able to subconsciously notice its flaws. With an eye as perceptive as the Sharingan, which can spot imperfections in genjutsus all the time, it was only inevitable that Madara would be able to quickly break out.
However, the same couldn't be said for Aizen, who never showed any resistance to the kind of mental illusions Madara can create.
Even setting illusions aside, the sheer quantity of offensive options at Madara's disposal, whether it be his clones, meteors, or monsters summoned by the Rinnegan, kept Aizen constantly on the back foot.
But none of that mattered if they couldn't kill each other, and both had pretty insane healing factors that could recover from just about anything, except for those pesky 8 balls of doom.
Madara's truth-seeking orbs were capable of completely molecularly annihilating spiritual beings and preventing them from regenerating. And again, Aizen was a spiritual being.
Since Aizen lacked the ability to do the same
His character is much weaker than Madara and Aizen from light speed feats, so likely end up much faster. However, based on further calculations, he's also going to
reversible damage to Madara, the ghost of the Uchiha had exactly what he needed to put this actual ghost down for good.
Aizen was an unbelievably
overpowered
overpowered foe,
like that,
but Madara's own powers, illusions, and devastating truth-seeking orbs allowed him to crush the ex-Shinigami.
Sosuke should have kept his eyes on the prize. And
do you feel any shame at all?
Moderately. Ha! Double pun. Suck it, Wiz.
The winner is Madara Uchiha.
Alright.
Thank you for watching this episode of Death.
And I have not been spoiled. I am amazed that I have not been spoiled. People are saying, like they've been theorizing over the past few days, that it's going to be Galactus versus Unicron. Okay, I've definitely heard the name Philip Sacramento before. Why does Ringmaster get a credit? He wasn't in this episode.
Death Battle, if you're looking to get some merch for the holidays, we've got a bunch of great new items from Death Battle and Rooster Teeth. From hoodies to t-shirts to socks to beer steins. Click that box and start shopping now.
Oh, it's the next time. Wait, they actually found... Oh my freaking god! Oh, that's gonna be awesome!
With Verizon Business.
Oh, that is gonna be super fun. Oh, so we have another episode this season, because people are saying Galactus versus Unicron would be the season finale. I was not expecting there to be more than one episode left in this season. One Punch Man versus freaking Popeye. That's gonna be incredible. Wait a minute, does that... I'm gonna have to go through all of Death Battle, but I'm pretty sure Popeye is the oldest character they've ever had. Cause remember, they use specifically King Mickey, who is only about 20, it only has about 20 years. Goodness, I'm gonna have to go back and check. I'm gonna have to look up, when was Popeye created? First Popeye story, 1929. The character first appeared in the Daily King Features comic strip Thimble Theater on January 17th, 1929. Actually, that's more recent than I thought. I would have thought he was from, like, the 1910s. Is this the oldest character Death Battle has ever had? I'm going to have to go through, because I cannot remember every single character Death Battle has ever had. There's actually been some where I was like, oh, that character looks for... Oh, yeah. So, that was an incredible battle. I just wish I knew anything that was going on. Next time should be considerably easier. They punchy guys. There's not a lot of, like, strategy to it, is it? I don't think. I saw, like, the first season of One Punch Man. I was in a parody of Moomin Rider. Yeah, if you just come here for my Death Battle reactions, I do some voice acting. And I was in a parody of Moomin Rider. I'll put the link in the description. I was like a little kid in the convention center, and I was Moomin Rider's off-screen mother. Telling him to get a real job and stop dressing up like a BMX biker. Alright, I had absolutely no idea what was going on this entire time. The entire time. It was like I was okay when they were fighting with the sword and the war fan, and then I just kind of stopped keeping up. Because, they even acknowledge both of these are extremely complicated series. Okay, next time is going to be really interesting. I thought they were waiting to have One Punch Man until the series was over, though. I thought they had said that at one point. I know another person floated for him was potentially Krillin, because Krillin, remember, is only a joke compared to his friends. He is the strongest human. And in any other series, he would be a god among men. He just happens to get involved with a whole bunch of people who aren't human. And thus became essentially cannon fodder. This is going to be really, really interesting. I think this is going to be really fun to watch. And I have been talking for 40 minutes, and I have got to go. I will see you all next time. Until next time, I am Blackjack Gabby. Oh, my mom's here. Huh, how about that? Okay, that's good timing. Until next time, I'm Blackjack Gabbiani, and you are not.